if you see them first before they see you, they are dead when you're playing Barbatos. Alright guys, so I got some Barbatos gameplay to go over from Regalia, a 4.6k Brigitte player, who's also playing Gundam Evolution. I'll link his channel in the description. But, so, how do you play Barbatos? Obviously we all know it's really, really strong, but let's talk about what you should actually do to play it. So, like I said earlier, if you see them first and they don't know where you are, they're going to die if you play it decently well. So, don't let them know where you are. If you are able to predict where the enemy is and engage on them, or use wall sights that your team has, you can go run into them, hit them with your combo, hit them with the charged up slam into the F ability other slam that deals 1400 damage if you do it both of them together and actually fully hit them. But yeah, so do that. Whether you're engaging on somewhere where you know where they are, or you peek, or you sneak up from the sides, you always want to be going from the sides on this character if possible, just so that people are having a harder time looking at you. If you're on the side or the front of the enemy, or sorry, behind the enemy, they're gonna have a harder time looking for you. It's just gonna be less likely for them to find you. So, try and do that as much as possible, because Barbatos is very, very powerful, and yes, it can smash through Sazabis, through frontliners. It is still a flanker inherently, especially when they nerf this character, which I really, really would expect them to do. But yeah, just like in this video we just saw, coming from behind the enemy, slamming onto them, destroying them is how you carry on Barbatos. So, having said that, what do you do after you engage and get your kill, or don't get your kill? You need to dip immediately. When something happens and you engage, even if you get a kill or if you don't get a kill, it's time to get out immediately. If you get the kill and you disengage, it's to preserve your HP so that you can re-engage immediately after, as soon as you have your cooldowns back. If you don't get the kill, it's to get out before you get killed. So it's very simple. You hit a target and then you run around. You run away. You'll see this a lot from Regalia here, staging from somewhere that he can't be found, can't be seen very easily, and then engaging on where he expects someone to be or where he knows they are, and just destroying them and then running away. It's just how you play the character, guys. It's pretty, sounds cowardly, but you know, that's how flankers are. So, as a side note, something that you will see, Barbatoses are very good at countering other Barbatoses, because Barbatoses work well on things that are in a stationary position. When a Barbatos slams, it puts itself in a stationary position, as you can see right there. So if a Barbatos waits for the other Barbatos to engage, if they're playing on defense, whenever they engage, they can just go counter them. So really, really valuable to do that, just because Barbatos is really, really strong. It might not be appreciated by the enemy Barbatos. They might insult you in match chat, but it's still very, very valuable to do. So, but only when you're playing on defense. If you're playing on offense, you're just not going to be able to, like, they can just wait you out. So, not good. Considering the ultimate usage, I don't really have a problem with ulting solo targets basically ever, just because it lets you get kills without risking dying using your ultimate. But not when you can probably get the kill without it. In that situation, I believe our Barbatos player could have gotten it without the kill, or without using ult there, so I don't really like the usage of it. But here we see something really, really nice. Our Barbatos player sees the enemy through the wall here, I believe. Yep, sees the sights and then goes over the top. There's no way the Sazabi's gonna know where they are. Sazabi is just dead. There's nothing they can do about it. There's barely anything a Sazabi can do against a Barbatos that knows how to play the game decently anyway. But that gives them even less of a chance. So, hit your target, get in, get out, and then repeat and restage. And it's really useful if you come from multiple angles. If you flank from the side one way, you flank from the other side the other time. You go from above sometimes. Sometimes you just run straight into a Sazabi that you know where they are, crush them, and then dip really quick. There's so much mobility in this game, so make sure you're taking advantage of it. Here we can see our Barbatos player flanking. Very smart. And he's going to find something and then destroy it. Missed the cooldown a little bit there. It's okay. This is one of the earlier days of the gameplay. But then does something really, really intelligent. I'll rewind it really quick. Where he chooses to both disengage, but also still stay in the fight by going on to the above this section of the map here. They have no idea where he is. They can't tell, and he charges up his ability and comes and destroys the Sazabi that just got down by his teammate. Would have been a regular target. Something for general purposes, it's really, really, really important to set up earlier on C. C on this point, on this map, is extremely, extremely hard to take back. So if you get it and you don't feed, it's just honestly kind of impossible for them to take it. So you have to set up earlier, get good positioning. If you're a high ground based character like a Sazabi or Barbatos, you can set up in that high ground and then destroy them. So our Barbatos player tried to go over the top again. Some of the high grounds or some of the places above these buildings are like, they're almost all accessible, but they're funky. As you can see, they're not like flat actually. You obviously can't stand on them, but yeah, so. So in this situation, our Barbatos player sees that C is over. Even if they take it, they're only going to get a small tick on it. So it's time to set up on B. Our Barbatos player is doing a very good job here of setting up. So he's ready to crush anything that comes through. The Barbatos engages and then he's dead. And this would have been a really good example of what I was talking about, where you can counter dive a Barbatos. Counter diving is what it's called. Even if he'd hit something properly, let's just say our Exia hadn't shown up there, and he goes for the Sazabi, he's going to at some point hit a slam and then commit to landing in that spot. Just dash onto him and hit him. You all you have to do is make sure that you don't get hit by his ability. It shouldn't be too hard if you just get the timing decent. And then you crush him. So in this circumstance, our Barbatos player did not know where the Sazabi was going to be, and yet he hunted him down and crushed him. Just because he guessed, essentially. Barbatos is quite tanky for what it is, considering it's such a small hitbox. So there's nothing wrong with just scouting areas sometimes, just because it is really tanky. If they nerf it, you can't really do that though, so you gotta be a lot more careful. Also, something I like about what our Barbatos player did here is you don't have to hit the slam too early. He ends up using 3 dashes here to make sure he hits it. So he hits the first one right here and already used 2, but he was past the Dom Trooper here. And so instead he like slows down a tiny bit and then uses a dash to make sure he hits it. Dashes recharge really fast in this game, so it's okay to do that kind of thing. They're on like a, I think a 4.5 second cooldown for all 3. If you just let them recharge. So really, really good. This is the kind of gameplay I like seeing from a Barbatos. You'd really, really need to do it if the character wasn't as good as it is. Right now, you can honestly just run it down mid into things. But this goes into the whole, like, if you see them and they don't see you, they're dead for sure. Unfortunately, he ends up going too hard and he ends up running into a room where he's just kind of bound to get hit by something going through a choke point. You always want to avoid chokes. But in general, hiding there, if he waited for them to come out, would be really good. Something really quick here is you can't fit in a regular hit after the first stun. They're able to get up and escape before. As you can see here, the Sazabi's up and it dashed away and it did not get the full damage and it ends up killing our Barbatos player instead of killing the Sazabi easily. So just hit the combo. If they get hit by a Dom Trooper's armor pack or some sort of healing grenade, I guess the healing grenades don't actually heal that fast. So it's really armor pack is the one you have to be concerned about. But armor pack, there's nothing you can do about that. It's just so be it. So end up taking C here. When you have control of the objective, you don't need to do anything special. It's okay to hunt down separated targets like this and dive them, which is really a lot of what Barbatos should be doing, especially when they nerf it a bit, is hunting down separated targets and killing them. But you can kind of wait for the enemy to play and get into poor positioning, and you go punish them after that. So like I said, if you see them first, they will die as long as you generally follow the get in, hit your cooldowns, get out, repeat cycle. If you're looking for some other information about Gundam Evolution, make sure to check out my mobile suit guides. I have 6 of them out there, and they talk about the abilities, when to play them, how to play them, and their strengths and weaknesses in a nice small little video. Thanks, guys.